Brother, I'm going run a wild Hulk Hogan. If all I get's a moment, I'll make sure it's an explosion. Cause lately I've been seeing stars, trying to kick out on this chokehold. But it's no holds barred, middle fingers like I'm Stone Cold.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the Slapping Me Wrestling Podcast. I'm WeTooDeep. That is DJWAVYD. As always, underneath him there is that QR code to take you to the WWE shop. You know, WWE is as popular as it's ever been. So go represent. It's cool again to sort of wear WWE merch. All the old school CM Punk shirts just got re-released. I don't know if you saw that. All the old school like 2011 stuff dropped again. So go get you some merch. Use that link. The Junkyard Media Group website and our Discord's also in the description as well. If y'all want to use those links, come join the conversation. But with that, let's get into this episode. Just a quick sort of update, housekeeping thing to make the show a little bit more fun and less stressful because there's no news really on a day-to-day basis in wrestling like there is on, if we were talking sports, this would be easy. I could find 1,000 stories to talk about, but to make it easy, this show is going to be real simple. We'll start with Let's Get Cooking. If there's any news, we'll talk about that. We'll do a Raw review. Since he's Team Red and I watch more Raw than I do SmackDown. SmackDown's a little bit boring to me. I'll be completely honest with you. It's lost. I mean, Roman's coming back though, so maybe business will start to pick up. Then we'll jump to questions from the Discord. Then we'll end it with our little Thirsty Tuesday and the little game that we've been playing the last few weeks. So that's how we'll sort of run this. Going forward. So let's get cooking here. And with the TNA Forbidden Door apparently now open with NXT, at least it appears. You know, it happened last week live on this show. We live reacted to Jordan Grace.
Yes.
Ended the show, and then Ethan Page came on. So, that was another holy shit moment. So with that apparently now open, cook up one dream match or storyline that you would want to see.
All right. So, if I'm going just NXT and TNA, give me Obafemi versus Josh Alexander.
Okay.
In a no DQ, no count out match.
Okay.
So I still got to finish in the ring. But I want to see these motherfuckers go crazy on ringside. Now,
okay.
if I'm opening up to all of WWE versus all of TNA,
right?
Ooh, if she got one more match in her, I know she's a little old or older as far as wrestlers are concerned,
right?
If she got one more match in her, I'm trying to see Gail Kim versus Becky Lynch.
Oof, yes. That'd be pretty good.
If she got one match in her.
I'm surprised. The one I thought you would, and I think a lot of people have already sort of put this in the atmosphere, is AJ Styles getting one final TNA championship run. So I sort of said this on Friday, but it's got to be Josh Alexander teaming up with Ethan Page. The North was one of the best tag teams in wrestling before Ethan Page made the decision to go to AEW. And I hope he enjoyed whatever money they paid him there, but I think he's come to his senses. He didn't resign. He's come to WWE, and Josh Alexander wants to come. Apparently, he's one of the 4. There's 4 that I saw that really want to come over. The others being Moose, Joe Hendry, and then I don't know if you've ever seen Rosemary.
Yeah.
or
Oh
do you
yeah.
remember
Yeah.
her? Yeah, Rosemary.
Yeah. I know. I know Rosemary.
I was gonna say, was she?
TNA.
I was gonna say, was she part of Prime TNA?
Yeah, she's been around for a while.
Right. So I kind of want to see Rosemary. I think honestly, Rosemary would work with this Wyatt 6 shit that we're doing. I feel like that would work for her. So any of those 4 really, those are like the top 4 stars. I think a lot of people want to see come over. I don't know.
I got a banger match for you. Chad Gable versus Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah, that would the crowd. So here's the thing. I like Jonathan Gresham. I we have this thing with like size,
Yeah.
and so a lot of, especially the casual audience, they would not get behind Jonathan Gresham. I don't believe, from a size standpoint, because the dude's like 5'2".
Yeah.
It's very, so on like the indies, because I've seen him live in an indie show before. Dude's jacked as hell, like, but I don't know if if he's able to use that to his advantage, because he's literally like 5'2". And so him and Gable would tear the house down. I just don't know how much casual fans would get behind Gresham.
Where's LAX performing now?
That's a good question. The girl's still in AEW. Diamante, I think is her name. She's still on the AEW roster. Santana and the other guy, I can't think of his name.
Because I know the tag teams are currently in a rivalry. LAX versus like a new generation of LAX or something. Is Mike Santana? Is he part of LAX?
He used to be. The other dude, the weird dude, I can't think of his name. He's still in AEW. But maybe they rebrand. I haven't watched TNA in a couple months, so I don't know what's going on over there. Part of me wants to see Top Dollar or AJ Francis come over, just for the fuck of it. But I don't know if any of the ex WWE guys will be a part of this. It would be hard to be like, oh, that's AJ Francis when
we just kicked him out.
When you just kicked him out and he was Top Dollar at that point. So that sort of like continuity, people still sort of consider him Top Dollar, not AJ Francis.
I definitely don't know how the storyline will go over. I don't want to seem like it's rude to wrestlers or disrespectful to wrestlers, but like almost like an invasion of the WWE, like rejects. Or like not rejects, but the ones who they let go, like AJ, Nick Nemeth, Mustafa Ali, Dana Brooke, all like having like a faction almost.
So I would 100% love this. That idea would be fantastic. How they get it done, I don't know, but to do some sort of Worlds Collide event, that would be pretty cool. Where you would have Nick Nemeth come out and attack some mid card, Tony D'Angelo or whatever. Then on Thursday, Tony D'Angelo comes back on the TNA, and like I think that would definitely benefit both brands. Because especially with, like I mentioned this on Friday, I would keep this completely sealed in NXT. As much as I want to see AJ go over there, AJ Styles go over to TNA to have a final run, I think you could do that. But I would keep the majority of this open door or forbidden door thing to NXT, because that's where a lot of the more hardcore fans who really care about this stuff are, watch anyway. 40% of the Raw SmackDown audience, they don't really care about who Joe Hendry is. So, all I know is when Joe Hendry shows up in NXT, that fucking roof's gonna blow off the fucking building. Like, but this is almost for the sort of hardcore or more. I don't really consider myself like full casual, but for the fans like you and me who sort of know a little bit about this makes NXT almost feel like must watch. At times.
I turned on exactly at 8:00 this week.
Right. And so yeah, there's a lot that can be done here. I like this, and I think what this is going to show is how, I've always said this, AEW completely tarnished TNA when they did their little partnership. It was all just to benefit AEW, and TNA got nothing out of it. I think TNA gets a lot out of this. They understand their place in the business. They're not trying to compete, and so they're willing to send someone over like Jordan Grace, get her some TV time. She's about to be on a PLE for the biggest wrestling company. Granted, it's NXT's PLE, but it's still a PLE.
Yeah, it's a big merger show with the UFC arena.
Right, and it's with it's at UFC Apex. Like, there's a lot that's going on here that I think TNA has the potential to honestly jump AEW in viewership, but that's not going to be hard to do. So let's jump into some of this. We got to talk about Collision's ratings from Saturday, because you sent, or I saw it and I sent it to you. And you're like, "There's no way this is real."
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
And so I confirmed it. The dude, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he works for Forbes, so like it's not like he's making numbers up. Collision had a Fast National, so I think that's who watched live, of 122,000 viewers on Saturday. So when the show started, they debuted at like 584. I believe that numbers are about correct. And I said at that point, if they could stay around 500,000 on a Saturday night, they're doing fine. But they're down, they're below Rampage numbers this week. Like, what's your thoughts on these ratings? Like,
I mean, this is the problem of having a weekly Saturday wrestling show. And also, you can't really complain, I don't think, about the NBA playoffs, because the Mavs and the Timberwolves have been done since what? Friday, Thursday?
It's been like 4 or 5 days now.
The Celtics and Pacers have been done before that.
Right.
I'm not sure how hockey's looking. Cause I know you're more the hockey guy, but it's like that's not looking good right there.
Right. So I read this report where Tony Khan's sort of frustrated with what Warner Brothers offered for renewing the TV rights. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, Tony, why are you frustrated? Your ratings are in the dump right now.
Yes, sir.
Like, Dynamite's not hitting what it used to hit. Rampage, why that's still on TV, I have no idea. And then you have Collision, which is supposed to be like your second show, and you make it so here's the problem. You make it no different than Dynamite. True. You put on the guys that no one wants to see on Saturdays, and it's on Saturday. So we knew this was going to be an issue. At this point, if I'm Warner Brothers, the only way I extend is, Tony, we're only putting on Dynamite. That's it. We'll give you Dynamite. I'd even throw in, hey, put your pay-per-views on Max. We'll give you the streaming deal that you want. I don't know what the monetary figures are looking like, but I mean, I'm not giving billions of dollars like what I would give the WWE. There's no reason for it. You haven't proven you can sustain an audience that would care. And it appears to me, with them losing the NBA, Warner Brothers just letting the NBA walk out, they don't really want to be in the live sports market, it appears. So I don't know. This is kind of like the bad time, the worst time to have bad ratings, though, because you're literally negotiating a TV deal that would start next year.
And that's really terrible, because, like you're saying, they're in the middle of TV deals discussions right now, and you're not pulling numbers. Your main show is subpar with numbers. It's a small spike because of they're in between pay-per-views right now.
Right.
In between what it was like a 3-week turnaround or 2-week turnaround between pay-per-views.
I don't even know when Forbidden Door is, to be honest with you. All
when isn't there some short turnaround where it was like there's pay-per-view like two weeks in between?
Yeah, so All In and All Out are separated by 1 week. So they'll go to London, they'll do the show in London, and then the next weekend they do another pay-per-view. Typically it's in Chicago. That's All Out. At least that's how they did it last year, because when all that CM Punk shit happened. But I mean, you're asking fans to pay $100 in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Like that's crazy. But I just Forbidden Doors the way they do it with New Japan has always been one of the worst booked shows for me to watch for like if you're new to AEW, you're confused as shit. They're throwing you these New Japan guys, these CMLL from Mexico guys, like trying to build like prestige around this event, and no one knows who they are. And I think it's showing in the numbers that people just don't care. And so I don't know. Tony's got to sort of let go of this I want to do whatever I want mentality and start focusing on, what the fans want and what actually draws money. But
now, if you want to talk about viewership, right? So Tony Khan him and AEW have this show that's been going on for 5 years, right?
Right.
Diamond's been going for 5 years.
Correct.
And their viewership this past week was roughly what? 7.
That's a good question. I don't know the ratings.
720, 750, somewhere around there, 740.
That's what they've been hovering around. I don't know the exact number.
I know for a little bit it was around that 600 mark, a little bit, or just above 600. But roughly, they're around that 720 mark. Collision, like you said, hit what, 112?
It was 122 on Saturday.
122. Now, are you aware of Beta Squad or AMP? They're like a group of YouTube /streamers.
I don't know them, to be honest with you.
Beta Squad, their main location or affiliation is over the pond over in the UK. Where AMP, they're here in the States. They're based down in Atlanta. That's where their content house is.
Okay.
Mind you, these guys are all YouTube /streamers. Mostly, AMP came up on the NBA 2K scene, and now they do like variety content and like video game streaming and IRL streaming and whatnot. So these two guys, or these two groups of content streamers, had a charity soccer match or football.
Football.
Yeah, they had a charity football /soccer match this past Sunday, right?
Right.
Now, do you all know what their peak viewership was during that 3-hour stream?
Oh boy, what was it?
760K.
Okay.
For some YouTubers and streamers playing a pickup charity soccer game.
Right.
Now, do you all know how many views their video has post soccer game in 2 days?
I would say they were probably around 1 million, if not more.
You would be correct. The Beta Squad, it was their event. They hosted the event. In just 2 days, has 6.3 million views on YouTube.
Right.
And now, I'm just like, the hard part about having these events on the weekend, but yet you're getting outviewed by some, more or less people like us.
Right.
They got bigger followings.
Right.
More or less people like us are drawing almost 800,000 people on Twitch for a soccer game.
Right. So I have the ratings for all WWE and AEW shows from last week. So this is from WrestleNomics. It's like the main site people use for this. So this is those who watched live plus those who watch what they call a same day, which I think is within 24 hours of the show ending. So the numbers are a little bit skewed. So like for Collision, it goes up from 122 that watched live to like their official rating will be 378,000. which is still bad. Like you're really, really low. Your key demo that you've been praising for the last 5 years, you got a 0.11, which is really bad. To compare that to Monday Night Raw, the key demo, the 18 to 49, is a 0.53, the highest I've ever seen it for wrestling in a while. Like WWE's completely stolen that demographic. But Raw's was a 1.6 million. Rampage, no one cares about. SmackDown was 2.3 million with that key rating at a 0.65. WWE's got the demo now. Like, so everything Tony Khan 2-3 years ago said that benefited AEW, we have the demo, this, that. They don't have that anymore. So if I'm Warner Brothers, I'm not re-signing them. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Like,
I think AEW's main problem is that their two shows don't have their own defined rosters. And that's the main problem. So, and they treat one like a B show.
Right. So yes. So that's what makes Raw and SmackDown feel unique. Is I know if I want to watch Roman Reigns, I got to watch on Fridays. Now the only real difference or thing that sort of differentiates is with the women's tag division, where technically Bianca and Jade can show up on any of the shows, because that's what the rules are for that belt. You're like, I mean, Dynamite was at a 787 last week. NXT was at a 703. I mean, we can go back further and further, but really no need for that. But
if we're being honest, what's stopping AEW from putting Collision, say, on a Thursday?
Not a thing in the world.
Especially since TNT is not renewing the basketball thing.
Right.
Because, it was Thursday night, TNT, basketball, whatever. But going forward, they're not going to have it. So if they can lock in this contract, why not put Collision on a Thursday? Or even, why not put Collision on a Tuesday and try to compete against NXT if you think your brand is so dominant and superior?
Right. So I think I know why they won't put it on Tuesday, because that would make Shawn Michaels. WWE would pull all strings to win if they went head to head, and we know they could do it. Why they're not on Thursday, I don't know. It's not.
Are they scared of TNA?
Well, it's not like TNA can be watched by anybody. They literally, TNA barely gets 100,000 people, and they're unlimited amount of TVs. So, TNA really got to consider. I don't know if I brought this up Friday or not, but if TNA signed with someone like CW, I think that would benefit CW, because you would have NXT and TNA, and you could do like cross promotion of, like, it would be like the network could promote both shows. So that's something. If I'm TNA, I know you own the network, and it's, less production costs and all of that because you own everything. But if you could benefit out of this whole deal and get a CW contract and bring in some money, I'm not even joking when I say this. There is a legitimate chance TNA becomes the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world.
I'm saying AEW better find something to do with Collision, because right now we're going into summertime. You know what summertime means? Summertime means? More and more people are outside living their life. It's not winter time where we're bundled up in our house. Like, man, I'm outside. I'm partying. I'm not watching no TV on a Saturday. I barely watch SmackDown now because I'm outside.
Right.
I gotta watch the highlights.
Right. And like you said, for most people, it's summertime. They're out at the beach. They're out at the club. Everyone's out of school. College is out. So all the college kids are out partying, doing what they do during the summer, trying to enjoy. Right. And so, like, there is why it's on Saturday. I have no idea why they even considered that as an idea, other than to punish CM Punk and then to blame him for poor ratings. But they didn't get a chance to do that because they done kicked him on out of town to. Anyway, let's one final sort of news story that really leads to a question. Apparently, Jake Hager's done with AEW. Not a big loss. Would you like to see Jack Swagger back in WWE?
I would say give Swagger maybe like a 6 month to a year short-term contract. See what he can do. Don't lock him in for anything long-term so he sits in catering forever.
Right.
Bring him in for 6 months to a year. Bring him into you can do NXT if you want. Put him against a couple guys over there. You put him on the main roster if you want, but I don't really see a spot for him on the main roster right now.
Yeah. I would do the same thing they're doing with Sean Spears. Just have him put over talent. There's really no need for him, but if you bring him in just for the, hey, look what we did, we pulled your guy in back over here. Do what you do with Sean Spears. One final story I didn't write down. Speaking of contracts, Brian Cage released that he has 6 years left on his AEW contract. My first response when I read that was, are they even going to be around in 6 years? Like,
I didn't know maybe if Brian Cage misspoke and said maybe he re-signed for 6 years.
Right.
But say you got 6 years left. Like, are we saying like you just signed this contract like last month and you got a 6-year deal?
I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, if I'm any wrestler, I'm not signing a deal longer than like 2 to 3 years, even if with WWE, because I may be getting, the money changes. And so, if he signed like I don't ever remember his contract ever dying. So if he signed like a 10-year contract with these guys, like, he's shorting himself out on money.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would sign a contract that long to work for a company that you have no idea. Like, if I sign day one with AEW, give me a year. I want to see where this company's at in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not proven. And so and then they don't even put him on TV. You're going to spend the next 6 years in catering.
Yeah,
I do
crazy. Got one small story for you. I want to see your reaction.
Okay.
So we're all familiar with Mr. Dave Meltzer, right?
Correct.
That doofus. Okay.
Yes. That doofus.
Now you watch the pay-per-view live. You're very familiar with the Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale match, right?
Correct.
Now, Dave Meltzer, he rated that match out, on his Meltzer Stars.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to hear some historical matches that this match ranked higher than?
Go ahead and list them all.
All right. This match ranked higher than Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania.
Oh, jeez.
It ranked higher than The Rock versus Stone Cold WrestleMania 17. It ranked higher than HBK versus The Undertaker, both matches. Both years. It ranked higher than Triple H versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. It also ranked higher than CM Punk versus Undertaker. It ranked higher than Bret Hart versus Davey Boy Smith at SummerSlam 92. It ranked higher than Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. And it ranked higher than, I believe it was, what was the last match it was? Who did Steamboat face at WrestleMania 3? Was it Ric Flair?
I believe it was Flair.
Yeah, it ranked higher than Ricky Dragon Steamboat versus Ric Flair at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, I mean, my only reaction to that is this is the reason why no one cares about your star rating. Right. What was it, like a 4.7 or something like that?
4.5.
4.5. Yeah. That match was not a 4.5 star to begin with, but it's not even consistent because at least half of those matches that you named were definitely better than it, if not all of them. Yeah. No, this is why I don't care about Dave Meltzer nor his star rating. It's inconsistent. You give AJ Styles and Cody a 5-star, and I think, okay, maybe you're turning the tide on how you treat WWE, but then you give Nia Jackson, Lyra Valkyria like a 1.7, and then you give this match literally the same weekend a 4.5. I would say Lyra and Nia was the better match in my opinion. Now,
when you get a chance, I heard this report from the Eric Bischoff show. There's a clip a shorter video on YouTube from Eric Bischoff's channel, about 8 minutes, where his co-host was reading him off the list of matches. Those are the matches I recall off the top of my head. But there was maybe probably like 5 or 6 more that he listed. And Eric Bischoff, he said for the first time in the 700 hours of content those two had together, that he was speechless.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's insane. I'm gonna have to go check that video out just to see what Eric had to say. But with that, let's jump into reviewing Raw from last night. So we start with Liv and Dominic in the ring, and Liv's trying to seduce Dom again, rubbing all on his body and stuff. And this story is getting really interesting. She comes back out later when he's being chased by Strowman and sort of steps in between. What's your thoughts on this storyline?
Now, to quote a wise man, a 2-time world champion, it should have been me. All right. to quote the great Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, it should have been me. Mm-hmm. Now, this story is definitely enjoyable, and I'm enjoying myself. It is giving me ruthless aggression vibes. Yeah, not Attitude Era vibes. It's not quite Attitude Era. Right. And Attitude Era was, I think ruthless aggression era is the best era of wrestling.
I agree.
My personal opinion. I think it's better than the Attitude Era because you have both in-ring action plus over-the-top storytelling. You have the best of both.
Right.
So I like the storytelling. I'm waiting for the part because so you notice how Finn is the one kind of getting in between them first.
Right.
I'm waiting for them to drop the ball on the security footage. If you go back, I think it was here last week or the week before, Finn and Liv were getting out the car together.
It was the week I went. It was the week I went in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got out of the car with Liv. You think they're gonna show some like NXT anonymous type footage of him in the car?
And also, we know Damian Priest pays attention because he brought up all this, like, watching the show and seeing them, leaving hallways together. I'm waiting for Damian to bring it up.
Okay, so do you think Damian's going to bring? Okay,
either that or Liv's going to bring it up. Is it going to be Damian or Liv? One of the two are going.
I'm waiting for something to happen. I think a cool way for them to do it would be like Dom's come. You know how they like to do the long shot now, where like they walk backstage and the camera follows them. Where Dom gets done with like a match or whatever, but you can't really do it because he still has a broken arm. But he's walking backstage after a match or something, and Finn and Liv are just backstage in the locker room, just getting at it. It doesn't have to be like Edge Lita type shit, but she's over there, or Finn steps in between them and she starts making out with him, and I don't know. They can do a lot here.
It got me sooner or later. Reports are saying that Dom actually is healthy. He's just selling the injury for the next couple of weeks.
Which makes sense
because he took the bump from Strowman and during the steel cage match, and then he took another couple of little bumps this week. Yeah. So they're saying he's healthy enough to wrestle. They're just kind of holding him off for a couple of weeks.
All I know is Strowman fucking manhandled the fuck out of that chair, fucking swatted the fuck out of it. But
he took it to the chest too.
Right. So the little, I guess, ending question for this little segment: if you were Dominic. Because I feel like this had to have been hard for him. I don't care if he's married. Everyone's making a big deal about, Dom's married. He's loyal. But first off, Dom's not married on screen, right? So, yes. So, everyone making a big deal about, his wife, did she sign off on? One, she probably did. But second, he's not married on screen. His wife doesn't technically exist on WWE television.
Yes. And so, also, it's like every other actor in the world or actress in the world.
Thank you.
When they do a movie, all right, and guess what? They're married in the movie, or they have a love interest in the movie. They kiss in the movie. Shoot, half of them got sex scenes in the movie.
Right. I was gonna say half of these women have actual sexual intercourse with these male actors while filming these movies. But it's part of the entertainment. To me, if you're gonna marry into the wrestling business, you got to understand that they're playing a character. And first, I'm sure she gave him the full blessing for this to happen. Anyway, to lead to this question, if you were Dominic, to me, I don't know how long I would have been able to not fold under this pressure of being seduced by Liv. Do you think you would have been able to hold off like our man Dominic did?
I don't know. So I got mommy on one side and I got Liv.
Right.
But mommy's back home chilling.
Right.
And I'm at work with just Liv. See, we haven't really established that Dom and Rhea are like a thing.
Right. Like, to me, it was never really assumed that Dom and them were dating. It was always assumed to me that she was just like dominating him. Like you can have like dominatrix type relationships. That's a literal thing that people have, like Dom sub type relationships where it's nothing like it's not like a dating relationship. It's nothing platonic. It's just friend with benefits type shit.
Wait, I'm folding. To answer your question, I'm folding.
Right. And now part of me feels like WWE can make some money here from these IWC nerds who are sitting here on the internet, where they could imagine doing like a meet and greet with Liv where she just sits here and like part of the meet and greet is like trying to seduce you and seeing how long you can go without folding. Bro,
you'll get some weirdos to that. I don't know. You get some weirdos to that. I don't know. You're risking Liv's safety at that point.
Yeah,
you might have another Sonya Deville incident.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Get a stalker in her home.
Yeah, you're
right. Also, can we have Liv stop with the fake laugh every 2 sentences?
Yes.
That laugh is so cringe.
Right. Now that we've gotten this part of how do you feel about Liv's sort of character, her run right now with the championship? Like, I feel like they're doing so. To sort of preface this, Nerdy D did an episode. Was it today or was it yesterday? Where he talked about Liv, where he said that WWE is sort of setting up Liv to fail here. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I think they're doing a decent job of hiding how weak the Raw Women's division is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have Liv kind of sidetracked with this whole Dom story to the point where she's not really defending the title, even though she defended against Becky, she won it 3 weeks ago and then defended it like last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago, yada. So she just won it and then she defended it,
right?
But I think they're hiding her from getting into another feud, really,
right?
Because I don't see her defend the title at Clash at the Castle. There's no one. I don't think she's defended there. Maybe she defends at Money in the Bank. But who is she offended against? Maybe Lyra, Valkyria. But there's not really anyone on the Raw Women's roster. The roster's a little weak because half of their roster, or 3/4 of their roster, is in the tag division.
Right.
So I think they're doing a good job of hiding her from the lack of competitors or lack of opponents.
I also think a lot of this comes into Rhea's about to come back. And so you don't want to sort of rush a storyline when you already have one, which is ultimately so what I feel like they're doing really good at is they're hiding where her weaknesses are by sort of showcasing her strengths, which has always been character work. I think this character is really good. Where she suffers is in the ring, in the actual matches. And so I like what we're doing with Liv. I would continue it until ultimately Rhea is going to come back. More than likely, straight babyface Rhea, probably going to, I can even imagine a situation where, it's Priest and Rhea sort of leaving the Judgment Day, and you can do like Rhea and Priest versus Dom and Liv, or however they want to handle that. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could do that.
I do think you get Liv an opponent for Money in the Bank though, because I think Rhea returns that Money in the Bank.
Right.
So I think you put Liv maybe in a title match against Lyra Valkyria.
So what's hard though is I feel Lyra's going to be in the Money in the Bank match.
Well, who? So who would you put in? So what is roughly six competitors?
Right. So so it'll probably be 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. So I'm thinking Lyra, probably Io, Kiana James probably, unless the plan is for Kiana James to be like the main star in that match from Raw. I still have Tiffany winning the whole thing.
Yeah, so you want to put Tiffany, Naomi, Tiffany, Naomi,
Chelsea probably.
Yeah, Tiffany, Naomi. Yeah, so we'll say Tiffany, Naomi, Chelsea for the SmackDown
side. And then
Raw
would be
side, Raw. If I'm gonna leave Lyra out, I'm putting probably Io, Kiana,
and maybe Zoe
Stark. Yeah.
My problem is
Natalia. Or you put one of the Ninja Warrior girls.
Okay.
You put one of them in there. I mean, unless you have like a returning Charlotte by that point, but do you want her first match to be a ladder match?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So that they have a weak Raw Women's main event picture right now.
So part of me wonders is with Money in the Bank being in Canada, do they not just give Natalya a title match?
True.
For the crowd? Put Natty versus Liv. It's something easy where you don't even need a finish. Rhea could just come out and attack Natalya.
It also could be part of this whole Sonya Deville trying to help out Natalya thing. Kind of get her back into
right.
Yeah, but so what I think happens at SummerSlam, no matter who Liv's opponent is, instead of it being like, was Dom really trying to help her? You know how he's trying to like help Becky, so and so. I think Dom's trip just helps her, and then he finally picks like a side, and he helps her, and then like as Liv and Dom are walking back up the ramp, this is my brutality, and then Rhea meets him at the stage, something like that.
Okay, I like that idea. So let's move forward. We got Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser in a decent match. I like it. I don't know where this is going though. This is one of the. So I'll say this overall. What I liked about this Raw is that every single segment progressed some sort of story. Doesn't mean it's necessarily good, but they're, a lot of times on some wrestling shows, looking at you, Dynamite, you have a whole shit ton of wrestling and the matches are really good, but there's no story. And so for someone like me, it's hard to connect to why I should care about it. This episode of Raw, what was really good is it felt like we progressed storytelling a lot in every single segment with the top 4 stars on your roster not there. Becky's not there. Seth not there. CM Punk's not there. Cody's no longer on the roster.
Drew wasn't there until the last 2 minutes.
Right. So, you're missing. So basically the top guys right now are your mid card. And so when Rhea and Becky and Seth and Punk and Drew start to come back and take over a little bit more time, this mid card's stacked. And so, and now the Raw's in a position going into the Netflix deal to really, go full steam into it. And, Kaiser and Sheamus was a fun match. And it told a story. He didn't even have Gunther there yesterday on Monday. So, which
I will. This was telling you a little bit before we started the show, when I feel like there's certain matches that go a little too long to get the point across. I feel like the Kaiser Sheamus match was definitely one that you could have got the story across a little faster. I feel like they need as long of a match.
I agree. I do feel like at times the wrestling is long, but and I mean there was I can see what you're saying. This match did took like what 2 or 3 commercial breaks during it. So
I feel like this match, it was good work. The wrestlers got the point across. Like it was, good in-ring work. I just feel, this is one of the matches where instead of being like a 15-minute match, you could have got this done in like 7.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have Kaiser do his damage on the outside, mess up Sheamus' knee or whatever.
Right.
And then you do what you gotta do.
What I do like is that WWE is starting to make the referee feel somewhat important. With him sort of about to call the match against Sheamus, and we see a little bit more like interaction with the ref, whereas the ref under Vince sort of just felt like an NPC that was just there to count the 3. And maybe the old school fans like it that way. For me, I do, but there is taking it too far. Looking at you, Aubrey. But I like having this interaction with the referees. It gives them some personality, and Michael Cole saying the name of the ref at the beginning of every match makes them feel, we now know their name at least.
Yeah, but back in the day, I used to know every referee's name back in the day.
Right.
Like back when I was before 5th grade, because I lived in this one house. So before 5th grade, when me and the friends would be like wrestle in the backyard, not gonna lie, I was a little bit of softy. So when my friends are all like, "I'll be Batista, I'll be Triple H," I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be Charles Robinson. I'll be the referee because I don't want to take no bumps." But I could tell you all those referees' names, especially those SmackDown refs, because they would say them nonstop back in the early 2000s.
Right.
And I would personally like to experiment with a little bit of ref storyline almost, or like where it's like this ref is known for missing rope breaks, or this ref is known for being heelish.
So I'll give a sports example. In baseball, I don't know how much baseball you watch, but there's an ump who is he just retired actually, and the entire Angel Hernandez, and he just retired, and the entire world is happier. But this dude is notorious for missing easy calls that Helen Keller could have seen. And I think if this ref he's known to be a fast counter. This ref he's a slow counter, and he's a little bit more lenient with the heels getting away with stuff. I would be fine with that. It gives a little bit more strategy to even because like in UFC,
Herbert, or what's his name?
Herb was a little bit
a klutz or an idiot.
Yeah, so first off, I want to see Herb in WWE once. Just I'm a little bit upset we're not getting like I wish Lola versus Shayna. I know it's a battle or an underground match, but I would have liked to seen it like a fight pit or some sort of because they're both UFC fighters. So I would have liked to seen some sort of like MMA style match.
Can I brought Cormier, whatever his name was, for that Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins match?
Right. So we'll move on. What may be the best storyline going on Raw right now? Chad Gable gets his one-on-one match at Clash at the Castle against Sami Zayn for the IC title. About time he gets the match. What this storytelling, Chad Gable is so easy to hate.
Yes.
And when Otis turns and stands up for himself, that crowd, especially being in like the UK, that place is going to explode. I don't even know if it happens there, to be honest with you.
No, I want Chad Gable to win that title.
So I
want him to win that title.
Right. So the way that I saw it is Otis helps Chad win the title, and then immediately after sort of regrets it and then turns on Chad. So Chad's champion, but with the whole goal of making Otis the next champion, because that's the heel's job. That's the heel's job. And so absolutely give Chad the belt. And then set up a long feud. So at SummerSlam, Otis wins the title. At SummerSlam.
I definitely think you get like you put the title on Chad. Chad comes out, he's like, I did all my own, all my hard work, all my this,
right?
With clear up from Otis, and then I think you almost give him like a Randy Orton evolution kind of thing, where Chad's on Otis's shoulders,
right,
and Otis drops him, something like that, maybe.
But then you also sort of look at this, like what this could set up in the long term is Otis, Maxine, Tozawa, and Sami versus Gable, the Creeds, and what the fuck's her name?
I don't think she turns. She's kind of doing her own thing right now.
You don't think she joins with the Creeds?
She might be in the ladder match we're talking about. Ivy Nile?
Yeah.
Yeah, she might be in the ladder match.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. She might be. Can she reach the fucking briefcase? She's like 5'1". She's gonna need a super tall ladder. So after this, we end up getting Kiana James's debut against Natalya.
I thought she was gonna lose.
I thought she was gonna lose as well. Now, personally, I didn't think the match was as good as it could have been. But I think she did a decent job with the debut. And I like I like the storytelling. She came in, she does this promo talking about, how Adam Pearce is the greatest thing ever. And she's almost sort of the opposite of Chelsea Green. And so, but if you really think about it, they're the same character. They're just, so if you've ever worked with a Karen or Kiana's Kiana's the kiss ass. If she got her face any farther up Adam Pearce's ass, she would have come out brown. And so, but they're the same person. Like, it's Karens are annoying, but kiss asses are also annoying. And so I don't know. I feel like Adam Pearce would sort of like Kiana more because she's telling him he's the greatest thing ever. I think there's some character work that's really good here.
Oh, fast forward. What wave do you thought right here? Fast forward. What if we get the long-awaited, long-anticipated Nick Aldis versus Adam Pearce match with Chelsea Green in Nick's corner and Kiana James in Adam Pearce's corner?
I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, no, I really do. I like that idea. We'll move forward. Bron Breakker destroys Ricochet, just destroys him. And then, so my question with this, because Dragunov sort of came in at the end to save Ricochet from R.I.P. visiting Kale Dixon in purgatory. And do you feel like Dragunov sort of playing like a back seat to Bron Breakker at this point? Because what's funny to me is that these are like the two guys that the casual fans, what Nerdy D has been sort of comparing, is how Bron's the guy and Dragunov isn't. And it feels like that's playing out in real life. So
I think they entered in at a weird time because it was all centered around King of the Ring, and now Gunther, he gave up the IC title, and now the IC title is kind of caught up in our story.
Right.
I feel like this was a perfect, like, almost love triangle to set up a triple threat for the IC title.
Okay.
Or maybe it could be like because IC title's already kind of taken up, but I think this was originally leaning towards a triple threat match, and I think Ricochet's there to take the pinfall.
Right. I definitely follow that logic. I actually agree. It just feels to me that WWE has named Bron Breakker, and rightfully so. He's the guy, and Dragunov, as good as he is, He's the mid card guy. Like, I feel like that's his level. Is we'll put you on line for the IC title, but right now we got to make Bron a legitimate superstar to take the belt from name whoever, because it is when he gets, is Bron Breakker winning Money in the Bank? I think he is.
If he gets in the match,
right?
I believe he will. But if he gets in the match, maybe that's what gets Adam Pearce finally speared.
Bro, no, I want to see. What I want to see is, we'll go ahead and we're gonna jump a segment and then talk about Jay real quick. Jay declares for Money in the Bank. Everyone sort of assumes he's gonna win this thing. I want to see Bron Breakker fucking spear this motherfucker off a ladder as he's grabbing for the briefcase. Bron just comes out of fucking nowhere and spears this motherfucker.
Oh, was like Edge to Jeff Hardy,
right?
Who do you think's gonna be in the Money Bank ladder match? Like your early prediction.
So I'm assuming it's gonna be 3 from each show again. So Jay, Bron, let's see, Raw. They gotta put maybe Bronson Reed.
Okay.
I feel like because Bronson's a good fall guy. Yeah, good powerhouse. And then from SmackDown, Solo probably will be tied up with Roman. Maybe someone like Tama Tonga from that faction, because I feel like you have to have maybe Jay or Jimmy gets in it as well, and that's how they sort of interact.
KO or LA Knight.
KO, LA Knight.
Yeah, you have some good names to throw in there. You got some good names.
Yeah.
Do you think they push AJ Cody to Money in the Bank, or do you think they pull that Clash?
So I think it happens at Clash. Here's the thing that annoys me. Why could this not? If they're going down that route, why not do it at Saudi? I don't. Other than
the Saudis wanted Logan. You know how it goes.
Well, I feel it, but I also think a lot of it has to do with So I know AJ's been to Saudi before, but I think I read something somewhere where AJ doesn't want to travel to Saudi anymore.
Yeah, he's not the biggest fan. Yeah.
So I think that's part of the reasoning. I just feels kind of. I feel like they don't have any plan with Cody, because what I read was SummerSlam's going to be Roman Cody 3 for the title, and so none of this really means anything until after SummerSlam.
Well, I thought Roman was returning as babyface. Maybe Roman versus a turning Cody, or
I think babyface? So I think what happens is Roman comes back. He sort of, plays along with this Solo thing that's going on, and then Solo turns on him at SummerSlam, and that's where we get the "I did it for The Rock" moment.
Okay.
Let's see what's next. So Bianca and Jade are here. They're fighting Zoe and Shayna for the titles. Impromptu match. Good job listening to the crowd here, Adam Pearce. You're doing your job. Good job. And then Alba, Fyre, and Isla Dawn attack Bianca and Jade to DQ the match. This is what, triple threat, fatal 4-way eventually for this title.
Who would be the fourth team?
I would assume you could throw in Damage Control again if you want to, because you got Jade and Bianca from SmackDown. You got Alba and what's her name from SmackDown. So you'll have Zoe and Shayna from Raw. So it would need to be a Raw team. And so
I thought are Alba and Isla, aren't they Raw superstars?
I was under the impression that they were SmackDown, but I could be wrong.
Oh no. Well, I mean, I think Isla and Alba or whatever are just here to take the pinfall.
So
I don't think Zoe and Shayna are like big enough to where they need a third team to take a pinfall, but I think it's just because they're at Clash in the Castle, so they try to bring in the European stars.
The Europeans, right, Karrian Kross. What's your thoughts on him?
He's very interesting right now.
Yeah,
I like this because I've long wanted the Kofi and Xavier split. I said
like
this
that
earlier this year.
I like that they're teasing it. Like,
they're really teasing.
It's one of those things where I feel like fans have been calling for a New Day split since Big E's been hurt.
Yeah.
And Xavier's needs a singles push. Like, he's the only one in the group that hasn't gotten his single shine.
Yeah.
And
like, to be honest, it does seem like Kofi do be holding Xavier back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Kofi was the homegrown WWE guy.
Right.
We all know Xavier had the call over from TNA. He's been WWE forever now, to where it feels like he's WWE homegrown guy. But Xavier's also the smaller guy. Kofi's not the biggest guy in the world, but Kofi does hold him back a little bit, because I do think Kofi.
Yeah. And it does seem like Kofi's more of, he's the one that's sort of like holding on to the gimmick, it feels like. Whereas Xavier, I feel like he's sort of buying into what Kross is feeding him. And Kofi's like, no, we're still New Day. And I don't know, a heel Xavier Woods is going to cook.
Yes.
It's going to cook. And so the last thing, of course, so I completely missed the main event. I don't know how, I can't tell you how good it was. What was it? It was Ray and Priest, right? So I can't tell you how good this match was, because I was too busy going down this damn rabbit hole with the Wyatt 6. I'm sort of conflicted, because I hate these damn QR codes. But at
I was gonna say, you was hating on it, and he's like, "Yo, just eating right now. It's going crazy." I was like, "Yo, you just said you hated this."
like I feel conflicted, because like I get the link from Twitter. Like, this thing is like, they're putting in work with these things. Like, it's a whole website like Wikipedia shit with like 18 hyperlinks, and it takes you you could spend 4 hours and still not see everything that they put into these websites. Like, it's more in depth than what they did with Bray Wyatt, which then pisses me off, because I know this is gonna fucking flop.
I'm just waiting for him to show up. I'm not even going my way anymore. I'm just waiting for him to show up.
And I'm not even kidding. Like, I've been hating on this, waiting and all this shit. And then I'm sitting here like an idiot waiting for fucking Raw Talk to turn on. I switch right over the Peacock. The show's, I'm sitting there like, please start. Did you see the video of Uncle Howdy's message on Raw Talk? I posted it in.
The videos I saw. Yeah.
So, this shit crazy, and it's really going to let me down that they put in so much work to hype this shit up, and we already know what's going to happen. It's,
unless they,
and so the message here is like, you guys are questioning my arrival and my timing. Patience is required, or whatever. Like, nah, you've been doing this shit for fucking 3 months. Show the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm just
I feel like
waiting for the show up.
Right. I don't know. For all the work they've put into buying all these websites and all of this shit, for it to flop in a month, like we know it's going to. Okay. But it's crazy just how much work they put into it, and I mean, they got fans talking about it, I guess. But
I'm just here for Dexter Lumis and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's go to the questions here. I forgot to pull them out of the Discord, so let me open these up real quick. I think we only got one from James today. Yeah. Something we can talk about here. Why does WWE have an issue with re-signing their talent that are currently in storylines? Examples: Ricochet, Chad Gable, and Becky Lynch. So we already knew Becky Lynch was a free agent. I guess Gable's contract ends in like a week or two. I didn't know about Ricochet. So let's go ahead and address those three. First off, we've sort of already covered Becky. Yeah. So for me, with Lyra mentioning her by name on Monday, tells me she's re-signed. They wouldn't mention her if she's not under contract. So when it comes to Gable, they're not letting him walk. He's about to get the fucking title. Like, now, if he loses at Clash, my radar goes off to maybe he's gone. And then with Ricochet, I didn't even know his contract was coming up. There's no way they let him walk. His wife is the fucking ring announcer. Like,
it's possible. It's all to Ricochet.
Bro, I don't. Bros.
I'm gonna say Will Ospreay has been recruiting.
I mean, he is, but so here's my thing, and this was something I brought up in the CWC Discord. I think Triple H and WWE in general have a campaign to feed these dirt sheets false information, to give some false hope to the internet people, the IWC. And I believe Becky's already been signed. I believe Gable's already re-signed. I believe Ricochet's already re-signed. But they're not going to let that information out. I think it's the same thing that happened with Drew, where, last year when Drew showed up at, Money in the Bank when they were in the UK, and he wasn't under contract and everyone was wondering when he would show up. He was still there. I think they have these deals in place, but I think WWE's in the business right now of just sending false information out. Just one, so that they could, during these press conferences, they could sit there and be like, oh yeah, don't listen to the dirt sheets. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
So one thing that I can see is maybe WWE's like, hey, go see what AEW is willing to offer you, and then we'll work from there.
But I think that's also part of it as well. As I think they want to know what the numbers are. What's Tony willing to pay for someone like Becky Lynch? And hey, Becky, we maybe can't give you that much financially, but here's what we can do for you. And then you can sort of gauge what Tony Khan's willing to pay. Hey, Ricochet, go ask Tony Khan what he'll pay you. Let's see what he'll give our mid-card talent. Oh, he's going to give you, $8 million. You're definitely not getting that from us, but here's what we can offer you.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, Chad Gable goes over, gets an offer. Tony Khan's like, you want to wrestle for, $1 million a year. And I think he'll come back. Triple H be like, all right, see, here's what we do. We're not gonna do the $1 million. We'll do $750,000, and you can wrestle in front of actual fans. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta wonder what this WWE pitch looks like. Like, hey, Chad, you know how you were just at WrestleMania? Yeah, they don't even have a quarter of the fans in their fucking arenas. Like, I don't understand what would go through someone's head. Like, even if you're Ricochet and you really don't have that much going for you at the moment. I mean, you're the speed champion. That's fine. Hey, Ricochet, you wrestle in front of 16,000 people on a weekly basis. And then you get on PLEs and you got like 20, 30,000. Go on over to AEW where you got 4,000 people in the arena.
Like Ricochet, you're a weekly talent on WWE TV. You're a weekly wrestler,
right?
And he probably wrestles what, maybe like 3 PLEs a year,
right?
But he's a weekly wrestler.
If anything, he does the speed matches, he does Raw, and maybe a PLE or two when they need them. So
he got a good gig. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful girl, good gig. I'm just like, it's like Ricochet. Do you want to put on 7-star matches in front of 1,000 people, or do you want to be a weekly household name on the biggest wrestling biggest wrestling company in the world?
Right. I don't think WWE has a problem signing them. I think they're doing research right now. What's Tony Khan willing to pay? And then at some point you can spin the narrative. Well, see, we let them be free agents and Tony Khan still couldn't get. It's all about narrative. And so whatever can make Tony Khan look incompetent more than Tony Khan makes himself look incompetent.
You know, dude, I would show them wrestlers who left WWE, went to AEW, and be like, hey, how'd their career turn out? I would show them John Morrison. What happened to John Morrison in AEW?
No, I would show one clip. I would show Edge jumping off the top of that damn fucking cage, and that's all I would show him. Hey, he needs to jump off of this to get star power, to get the crowd to cheer for him, and he just probably ended his career doing it. Stay here, take less money, we'll make you a name. Here's what we can offer you. You got the 2 biggest sports entertainment companies behind you in UFC and WWE, and all of their money. Nick Khan knows everyone in Hollywood. You want to go be an actor? We can get you there.
Yes.
Like the pitch is super easy.
How much you want to bet Ricochet is going to be in Money in the Bank the Money in the Bank match?
More than likely he could be one of them.
You get Bron, Ilya, and Ricochet. Boom.
There you go. So we'll move on forward here with that was the only question there. So we'll move on to Thursday, Tuesday. We're in our finals. Of course, me and Wavy D here decided Cora was going to win no matter what happened there. She technically lost the Discord vote because everyone picked Indy over Cora, but I don't know what's going on here. But then the Discord disappoints me again. We got Zelina Vega in the finals over Jasmine Nix.
Yes.
And so our finals is Cora versus Zelina Vega. Who's to you the winner of this tournament?
Ooh, I'm just refreshing my memory real fast.
He's got to do the research.
Yeah, I'm saying let's say so. Here's how you research. All right, you type in the wrestler's name and then you just add hot after it, and then you click on Google Images. All right. After further review, ruling on the field is Zelina Vega.
Oh my god! I need to know your reasoning here.
Okay, fine. You do your own research. Go on your Google. Open up another tab. Type in Zelina Vega hot.
I've seen every picture you're looking at right now. I know exactly.
Whoa. You do research all the time? You do extensive research?
Nah, not extensive.
For this bracket?
Not extensive, but I know what you're talking about here, my dude.
Nah, you don't know what I'm talking about. Just go open up another.
I got you. I got it right here on my phone.
Yes, okay. She gives you. She can give you Puerto Rican mommy. She can give you nerdy weeb. She can give you anime character. She can give you Mortal Kombat character. You know what I'm saying? She give you a little bit of everything. But if I research Cora Jade, for example,
you just got Babe. Like what more do you need from okay, I get it. And this is gonna piss some people off, but I don't care about the anime cosplay. Y'all can keep that shit. And I get it, attractiveness is subjective. But it's gotta be Cora Jade.
I'm not gonna lie, and then half of Cora's research is her before and after surgery. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. Before surgery, she looks like never mind. I'm not gonna. I'm just saying. I gotta go with Zelina Vega. That's my final choice. I'm going with Zelina Vega.
All right.
I assume you'll go Cora, and we gotta toss it up to the Discord.
We're gonna toss it up to the Discord. Discord's gonna decide this. Next week we'll announce the winner of the Thursday Tuesday bracket. And just like I promised Kara when we started this, we got to do the men's bracket for Kara. Now for the women, we got
equality.
We got to give the women what they want as well. So I'll make a bracket. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna need Kara. Send me your bracket. Send me everyone you think that is attractive, because I'm not doing research for this one.
I'll help you, Kara. I'll help you with the research. What I'm telling all you guys before you vote, do the Wavy D method of research, okay? and you'll see that Cora should not have made it this far in the bracket.
Bro, no. Here's the thing. The fact that Jasmine Nix is not the winner is fucking disappointing.
Whose fault is that?
It's not mine, because I voted for her. But we'll move on. We'll move on to the final little segment here. So we're gonna have Wavy D name off wrestlers, and I can't speak until one's better than. So the first one he names is the one I can't speak to. So for example, if he says don't speak into a wrestler's better than, and he says Hulk Hogan, we're gonna be here a while. So don't do Hulk Hogan, but we get the point. So whatever. I'll give the mic to you. Let's play this game. Let's see what we got for me.
All right. Speak when there's a wrestler better than Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Alexa Bliss. Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Oh, you spoke. All right, you guys are right here first. Way too deep. Thinks that Liv Morgan is better than Becky Lynch.
Nah.
Okay. Let's see. Trish Stratus.
We talking prime? We're talking prime Trish?
Prime Trish versus Prime Becky.
Okay, Trish Stratus. Prime Trish is better than Prime Becky.
See, I'm not a Becky Lynch fan. I'm over here. What? Prime Trish over Prime Becky?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Becky's great, and Becky to me, I've argued will go down as the GOAT, but Becky Lynch is nothing without the man gimmick, which I still don't think is better than Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus is possibly the reason women's wrestling even matters.
Well, what about as far as like wrestling ability? You think Prime Trish is better than Prime Becky?
I don't think Becky's all that good in the ring. I'll be honest with you.
All right, but okay. Not gonna, I was ready to throw some names at you. I had names I was finna throw at you.
Well, we're gonna end this one short then, because Trish, you gave me Trish. Who was gonna be next?
Victoria, Gail Kim, Nikki Bella, Paige, Gail Kim, Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte, absolutely. But
okay.
I don't know. I'm kind of tied up on Nikki because I think Nikki Bella is a little better as well from a character aspect.
Michelle McCool.
Pass on that one. But any final word before we get on out of here?
Based on my casual looking over, I did not see any TNA surprises tonight. So
understood.
So Fightful is another unreliable source.
Oh, you mean Sean Ross Sapp? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was either him or Dave. I think it was Sean Ross Sapp though, who said that the same door used for Jordan Grace is in use tonight. Yeah. Is that what you shared or something?
Yeah, that's what I shared. Yeah, but imagine Sean Ross Sapp telling the truth. Anyway.
Oh yeah, it was from Fightful. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. Until Friday when I do my solo show here, we're gonna be addressing Battleground, doing predictions because that's this weekend. It's gonna be real fun on Sunday. And then next Tuesday we're gonna be doing predictions for Clash at the Castle because that's next weekend.
I got big news.
What's that big news?
It seems like where did it go? All right. So we got the official invitation from the Junkyard, Beyond the Junkyard. All right, from Junkyard James. He says at WavyD and at WeTooDeep, are y'all good to do the Forbidden Door draft next week?
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Let's make it official right now.
Ooh, quick shout out to Sean Spears, okay? Sean Spears, you'll see when you go back and watch NXT today. I was already a pretty good fan of Javon Evans, the young OG.
Right, young OG.
Sean Spears put that man over big tonight on NXT.
Nice.
These guys had a brawl where go from backstage to ringside. Sean Spears maybe got one punch in, one punch and he pushed him into the steel into the rings the steps one time. That man let Javon Evans get so much offense in, made Javon Evans look like a star. Okay,
nice.
Shout out to Sean Spears on getting the younger talent over, especially with his story with Josh Briggs.
Right.
And all the young guys over at NXT. Shout out to Sean Spears. He's making Javon Evans look like a star right now.
Good. Love to hear it. With that, until Friday, I will see y'all later. This has been another episode of the Slapping Me Wrestling Podcast. Have a great rest of your night, your day, whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you on the next one.
Brother, I'm going run a wild Hulk Hogan. If I like get some moment, I'll make sure it's an explosion. Cause lately I've been seeing